Okay, dear children, so welcome back. Now, in the previous class, we were discussing about these points which are displayed in the slide. Just to have a glance of it. Definition of a cell. How is the cell discovered? Robert Hooke has discovered it in the year 1665. They are microscopic in nature. That is why we use microscope for viewing them. And two different types of cells: prokaryotic, eukaryotic. Prokaryotic means the group of cells which lack the nuclear envelope in their structure. Eukaryotic means the group of cells they contain nuclear envelope in their structure. And there are differences. Plant and animal cells are the best examples for eukaryotic cells. And how are they differing from each other? These all basic structures we have seen. Now we are going to proceed in eukaryotic cells. In eukaryotic cells, basically, what are the cells made up of? Or we can say structure of cell or components of cell. Basically, the eukaryotic cell made up of three different parts, which are called cell membranes, cytoplasm, nucleus. These terms are well known to you, but the prokaryotic, eukaryotic, like these different terms are there which are to be repeatedly practiced, repeatedly spelled, then you can easily come to know them. Now, the three different basic parts of the cells, I repeat again: cell membranes, cytoplasm, nucleus. Let's see one by one. The first one is cell membrane. So, what is cell membrane? How can we define it? The cell membrane is defined like this: the semi-permeable envelope which covers the cytoplasm and nucleus of the cell is known as cell membrane. So, cell membrane basically has some characteristics. What are those characteristics? These cell membranes may be permeable in nature. Permeability means what? Permeability means allowing something to pass through. For example, when we get into Arunachal Pradesh, we have to show ILP. Then when we get that permit, then only we are allowed to enter. Similarly, in certain all the cells, we can find some particular compounds when they transfer from cell to cell, which are allowed. Some of the things are not allowed. So what are allowed? The basic food items, energy rich compounds are allowed. What and are not allowed? The toxins, some poisons, some unwanted chemicals which are not allowed. So such a way the cell membranes are highly sensitive. So that characteristic is called permeability. So some cell membranes are permeable in nature, some are selectively permeable in nature. Selectively permeable means allowing only particular things, not all. Then these particular cell already we have studied, they give shape to the organism, but here cell membrane gives shape to the cells, and they segregate cell contents from the surrounding. And basically the cell membranes are made up of cellulose. Cellulose is the common constituent for the cell wall, and proteins and lipids. Lipids other name is called fat. Fat is commonly known name, but technically we call the fats as lipids. So the proteins and lipids, they give structure to plasma membrane. Let's see the structure of that. So the two different types of cell membranes are given here. One is cell wall, another one is plasma membrane. Already I told, cell wall is made up of cellulose and plasma membrane is made up of proteins and then lipids. Now the cell membrane structure is given below. Just to look at it. It's just for a glance to have idea of the structure of it. It looks like a sandwich, right? And this sandwich like structure in which the top, you can just carefully see the orange color, and that orange color is a one layer, and down another orange color layer is there, that is another layer. So between these two layers the different proteins are embedded. Embedded means sunken. How? You can see clearly the proteins which are embedded here. You see, these are all proteins. These are the protein molecules, this blue color one, and then they are embedded here. So let's go ahead. Now when we say the two types of membranes are there, cell membranes are there called cell wall and plasma membrane. When we say types, definitely there will be differences between them. And then now cell wall and plasma membrane, how can we compare, and or how are they different from each other? Let's learn. So cell wall, it is found only in plant cell. Very important point. cell wall is found only in plant cells. It is absolutely absent in animal cells. But plasma membrane found both in plant and animal cells. And the cell wall is the outermost covering, especially in plant cell, because it is found only in plant cell. That is why it is the outermost covering of the plant cell. But plasma membrane is the outermost covering of the animal cell, because cell wall is absent in animals. So cell wall, it is getting enveloped by plasma membrane. It envelopes the plasma membrane, and then it is rigid and thick. Rigid means very hard. Thick means you know well. But at the same time, plasma membrane, if you look at, it is very flexible, very flexible, and a very thin layer. And then cell wall is a dead structure of the plant. It means it has no life. But plasma membrane is a living envelope. And cell wall is purely permeable in nature. When we discussed about cell membrane function, first word was permeable and second was selectively permeable. Cell wall has a permeability nature. It is purely permeable in nature, and then plasma membrane is selectively permeable. It will allow what is good, it will not allow what is bad. So we have to also be like plasma membrane. What is good for us, we have to imbibe. What is not good for us, we have to get rid of them. And then cell wall, it is made up of cellulose, already I have narrated you, and then plasma membrane is made up of proteins and lipids. These are the basic differences between them. Now, second component, which is called cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a technical term. Its common understandable term is cell liquid. The liquid which is filled within the cell is called cytoplasm. So how is it defined? The viscous and homogeneous liquid filled in cell is known as cytoplasm. Viscous means sticky in nature. For example, when suppose if we get injured, when you touch your blood and then just between two fingers you just crush, you will find some sort of stickiness there, right? So that stickiness is here is also. So similar to that, here is also there. And then it's a homogeneous liquid. Homogeneous means the whole cytoplasm is of same nature, which is not different in nature, which is of same nature. That's why homogeneous we call it as. Then what are the basic characteristics of it? Already I told it is viscous in nature. Viscous means sticky liquid. And then this cytoplasm in which only all cell organelles are present. Cell organelles already we have seen in the plant and animal cells like mitochondria, lysosomes, etc. So those things are found in the cytoplasm only. And this structure has, especially cytoplasm, has no definite structure. That is why it is technically called amorphous. And it is a colloidal fluid. Colloidal means like dahi you have seen, curd, similar to that, or jam you have seen, similar to that. So they are made up of basically water. So what and all constituting the structure of cytoplasm? Water is present in it, glucose is present in it, high amount of oxygen is there, and lots of amino acids. These amino acids are called organic acids. These organic acids only give structure to proteins. So these are all present in cytoplasm. And then second comes the nucleus. So we have seen three different parts. Three different parts: cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. Now nucleus. The nucleus is a membrane bound organelle and it contains a genetic material. This is the one and only organelle which contains genetic material, that is called DNA. Because of that reason, nucleus is segregated from other organelles, or it becomes more important than other organelles. Why it is highly important? Because nucleus has a specific function. Just you can read out there. It contains genetic material. Already I told that genetic material present in eukaryotic cells is DNA, and it coordinates the protein synthesis also. It means protein is very much essential, otherwise construction of the body, development, growth and all cannot be possible at all. So for that, protein is very much essential, and that is why in our diet, daily diet, we take dal bath sabji. In that dal one is serving us more of protein, but that dal is basically obtained from plants, and then that is by the process of with the help of the nucleus they are being produced. Right now, the same nucleus, very important point, it controls and regulates all activities of cell. Rather we can say any animal, if you take the brain, controls the whole function of the organism. Similarly, the nucleus controls and regulates all activities of the cells. That is the reason that nucleus is nicknamed as the brain of the cell. Remember this word, the brain of the cell. So nucleus is the brain of the cell because it controls and regulates all activities of the cells. So what are the basic characteristics of nucleus? It's basically spherical in shape. Spherical means round, globular. It contains double membrane envelope, that it has an envelope cover. That cover is two membrane nature, double membrane nature, which is called nuclear envelope. Nucleus is enveloped, so nuclear envelope is the name. Then it is filled with viscous liquid, sticky liquid. That nucleus is filled with a liquid, and that liquid is present within the nucleus, so it is called nucleoplasm. Cytoplasm means cell liquid, nucleoplasm means nucleus liquid. Remember like that. It possesses networks of chromatin fibers. What is this chromatin fibers? Thin thread-like structures which are found within the nucleus, and that structure only gives structure to the DNA. Or we can say that only is called DNA. The DNA is collectively, when they are coiled together, when they are joined together, we have different name for them. That is called chromosomes. They are called chromosomes. Chromosome is nothing but made up of DNA. Remember that. And it has a spherical shaped distinct structure which is found within the nucleus, and that is called nucleolus. Basically nucleolus is a conspicuous structure and which has no specific role assigned it, and we don't know about exactly what is the role played by the nucleolus in the cell, but it is present. Maybe in the future we may find it. What are the roles played by the nucleus in a cell? The nucleolus, you can clearly see that the middle, that Tika type, the dot is there, this is nucleolus, and these all thread like structures are called chromatin fibers or chromosomes. Rather, they are basically made up of DNA. And then here the membranes you see, this is outer membrane and this is inner membrane, and this double membranous structure, and these membranous structures have small pores, holes, and these holes are called nuclear pores. These are called nuclear pores. This is a basic structure of a nucleus. Nucleus is enveloped by double membrane structure which are called nuclear envelope, and then filled with a liquid. That liquid is called nucleoplasm, and in that liquid floating some structures. These structures are highly coiled thread like, which are called chromatin fibers or chromosomes. Chromosomes or chromatin fibers are basically made up of DNA, and then centrally we can locate a central spherical structure. Its function is unknown till date, is called nucleolus. Now an introduction to cell organelle. So these cell organelles are all found in the cytoplasm. In the definition we will see the specialized entities means particles present inside the cells to perform specific functions are known as cell organelles. So cell organelles are the group of structures, they play important role in each and every cell. They play specific role, they very importantly playing role of a specific nature. So that is why they are called cell organelles. And these cell organelles examples, chloroplasts, we know well, it's involved in photosynthesis, so it's a specific function. So chloroplasts in the plant cell, which are absolutely absent in animal cells. Lysosomes, they are also called suicidal bugs. Why are they called? We will see later on. Then mitochondria, both it's found both in plant and animal cells, and these mitochondria are known as powerhouses of cell. Powerhouses means they are responsible for giving energy to the cell. That's the reason they are called powerhouses of cell. So like that, these different organelles are there. So we are going to learn about these cell organelles in the next class. So these are some of the things we have learned so far. So what and all we have learned so far? So we have seen the makeup of the cells. The cell, any plant or animal cell, which is basically made up of three different structures: cell membranes, cytoplasm, nucleus. We have seen what are cell membranes and their characteristics, what is cytoplasm, the cell liquid, and then what and all present in it, what are the characteristics we have learned, and nucleus, of course, just now we have completed. Now apart from that, we have learned a brief introduction about cell organelles. So that's all for today, and then in the next class we will learn about the major cell organelles which are present both in plants and animals, and which are specifically present only in plants and specifically present only in animals, in the next class. Bye.